Wake the frick up, samurai. We have a city to burn. So this video was originally going to be about YouTube channels from countries that really, I'm surprised to have internet or access to YouTube. This video was originally going to be about those things. It is not going to be that anymore because China. Now guys, excuse me if this video gets a little political, but this shit is hilarious. So I was originally going to talk about all of these countries that either produce propaganda very openly on their, their YouTube channels or something like that. But then I noticed that there is not one country that does it better than the good old China. This first song is called A Song for Zhejiang Cotton. And I'm not going to explain it, I'm just going to show it and then I'll talk about it.
Dry land to sunshine made of cotton. This work-class school, people all in old Baden. Usage jobs create, and their fat money made. Years like, now I know how people just like to hate. Forced labor's none of Uyghurs, but I take a flight to his truer. Poor families are getting...
Like I said, I don't want to get political. And you know what they say. Those in glass houses should not do nude yoga. So yes, the biggest critic of this is America, and yes, they did do slave labor with cotton. That is true. Those are true things that happened. However, I would like to broach the subject of whether or not there is forced labor of the Uyghurs, of which, according to the song, there is not. Despite evidence of concentration camps and other things, other words, and war crimes and human rights violations.
Numbers are getting fewer. Another name for this belief is colluser. I see something funny, gonna talk to 74 southern plantations money. I saw forced laborers working so poorly, just start imagining.
Now I understand it would be very easy to mock somebody's English, and I'm not going to do that. But the lyrics of this are absolutely bonkers bananas. I think that goes without saying. But this channel produces a lot of C-rap, right? A lot of China rap, of which I believe there are some stipulations over whether or not certain rap can exist in China or not. I've heard bans existing, but only for certain things. However, a lot of this stuff exists for a very specific purpose, to get the young people interested in Chinese nationalism. So they get on Douyin, which is like the Chinese equivalent of TikTok, and they dance and sing to these songs. And not only is it a cool, fun, viral sensation, but it's also like, being a bootlicker. Listen guys, this is why I'm a cross between John McAfee and Johnny Silverhand. Okay, I don't think there's a better political duo that one can represent themselves with. I totally have like a lot of files on me from world governments. There's no way that I do not exist inside their file system. When I finally do my video where I go to China, all of a sudden I will go missing, and boy will that be interesting. I wonder if the international community will cry out for the man who makes funny videos on the internet. So, you might be looking at that and going, that guy rapping's not Chinese. He's not Han Chinese. What is going on here? Does this mean that people who aren't in China actually just, are really like, they're like, this stuff bussin'? Well, this one's interesting. Because there's a whole market in China for foreigners producing stuff there because reasons. There's plenty of videos you can watch about that, and it is interesting and in a strange world. In fact, there are some YouTubers who have gotten very big by going over there and selling their soul to the governmental devil. But I mean, look at those kids. They look like they're having fun. They're like, I love Xi Jinping. He reminds me of my favorite character, Winnie the Pooh. I love him so much. Look at how lovable he is.
Many times I became old, China made it. Yeah, working so hard, but they keep on hating. Let's be real. No kidding, no finger pointing, can do well. Face it now. There's no need for no wrong blaming. Yeah, 2020, China no extreme poverty, yeah. People start a new life just trying to speed, eh.
Dude, this stuff is insane. I feel like I live in like Paul Verhoeven's like version of what a cyberpunk future would be. You know, it's just, we have none of the fun stuff and all of the awful stuff. You know, I wanted robot arms. All I got was my phone listening to me when I take a shit. You know, I was just thinking, I think it's very interesting that they hired this black man to be in this rap video when Star Wars recently removed Finn from the posters to better suit the Chinese audience. Sorry, John Boyega, you're a great actor, but you know, you scare them.
Let's go, people coming to Beijing. This is guy looks gloomy, it better bracing in. The time's moving and clock's ticking. Now have this thing, healthy chains. Welcome to Beijing.
This is my favorite, right? I also like how this video seems to specifically mention the ethnicity, nationality, and race of everybody who's singing. So you have Sina, who is ethnic Mongolian China, right? The previous guy was from Ghana, right? He's Ghanaian. I think I pronounced that correctly, hopefully. But this is our favorite Cotton Lady from the last song. Assumedly, she is a government mouthpiece and a rapper.
Wishes no gray, smoke is cast away, sun shining, sets are pretty. Let him defeat the city. And inclusion, let me get your solution. Climate change, big deal. Look up at China, it's real.
Okay, again, I don't want to be the guy who's like the American in Glass House doing nude yoga. And yes, America is in second place for leading global emissions, which is a problem. However, I assume that our president, who is currently having a colonoscopy, will change that. I mean, I don't trust that he'll change that. I don't even know if he knows where he is. But the point of the matter is that somebody said they're working on it. By God, if I don't God believe in something. However, would you like to know who is #1 in global emissions? Take a guess. Oh, what a surprise. What a surprise. Don't you guys just love graphs?
You see the different opportunities and possibilities. Nothing can stop me from being who I really wanna be. Benefits from new policy. Every day is a holiday. Fight along with young people and earning the young money.
Oh my God, guys, he's a Uyghur. See, we don't put them all in concentration camps as long as they do what we tell them to do. I don't think you realize how many of these videos exist. It is insane. This is my new favorite thing. I used to like reality TV. Now I just watch government propaganda. Okay, this stuff is amazing. You know, I'm spending a lot of this video mocking China, but what I want to say is that I'm mocking the CCP, the governmental force behind all of this, right? Because I would love to go to China, right? I love the history. I've started reading a lot about it because of how important they're going to be in the next upcoming decade and years. So I think it's important to understand the history of these places, and it's amazing and interesting and rich, and I like those things, right? I like those things. I don't like this guy. I don't like him. I don't like him specifically. The thing is, when you talk about it, the conversation has been manufactured in such a way that talking about it means that you are talking about the people, and that by talking about it, you are contributing to racism. So I want to make it abundantly clear that that is not the case. I am complaining about the CCP. I'm complaining about what the government is doing. You know, there's plenty of people that exist in this country that are looking to subterfuge the government and implement a more diplomatic, right, a more democratic situation there, right, a place with more freedom of expression, a place that is better. We've seen a lot of that with Hong Kong, and I'll leave a link to some pages that actually have been covering it quite well, the situation over there, because it's really hard to find paid for by some organization group, and there are groups that are paid for by other organizations, which is why if you don't see me list somebody in the sources of this video, it is because I do have evidence that they are being paid by some extra agency, which sounds crazy, but yeah, that's a future video. Point is, we're talking about the CCP, not the people who exist there, right? I enjoy a lot of the people, the culture, the food, the stuff like that, the history. So just don't buy the propaganda BS that the people and the government are one and the same, because that is very clearly not the case. This one has to be like the most egregious, because while those other ones were specifically about like China and how they're great, this one is about the government and how it works, right? So this is like Schoolhouse of Rock type beat.
Elation from inspiration, writing a compliment song for the nation. While I'm talking about 2 sessions after wrecking in that section and into 4 sections to awake to acute region and reduce tension. Just settle down and focus on what I eloquently mentioned about a true essential for countries development.
This rap kind of feels like the lyrical equivalent of trying to hit a word count, because what is he talking about? I did. Oh boy. This is so incredibly, this is an ethereal, out-of-body experience. I hope you are as flabbergasted and floored as me. I am honestly impressed because, you know, this is like Hideo level, like Hideo Kojima level, like nonsense craziness that's happening, right? For example, let me turn the attention to America for a second. America quite frequently advertises military recruitment on television and the internet. And there's this one ad that I always see it, and I'm like, wow, that's crazy, right? And I'll play a clip of that now if I find it. So let me see if you also agree that this is nuts.
Searching for meaning in a relentless world. Always connected, but somehow alone. Trapped by illusion. We offer another path, where the battle to belong begins.
Now, don't get me wrong. I got friends that are in the military, and that's good for them, and that's fine. I don't trust my government, okay? But that ad really hits a lot of creepy points. It's so cyberpunk, it almost like wraps around a parody again. But it kind of feels like, I don't know, it's like, oh, you don't have purpose in this social media bound society. You can find purpose here in the US military. You're alone and struggling as an individual. It's kind of the same feeling that I get from this stuff, you know? You know, the chorus in 2 Sessions kind of reminds me of North Korean music. My favorite music videos from the Chinese government are the ones that are like right below the video. It says that this is sponsored whole or in part by the Chinese government. I wish we had that for like every organization. It's kind of annoying that it's not, and it's only a couple here or there, but yeah. Who the hell's that American girl singing in the Capitol to this fucking propaganda? Somebody arrest her. She might be a government spy. I'm just speaking out my butt, okay? I don't know who that is. Please don't just arrest people on the behest of a YouTuber. I will say though that if there is a file on me, you should have a really big one on her.
到了欧洲，壮烈的红酒提前半个月送到家门口。比雷埃夫斯港的集装箱更快的被。
Hey guys, did you know that the CCP has opened relations with Al Qaeda because Al Qaeda is in an advantageous spot for Chinese trade, and so they have been working with them. Also, did you know that Al Qaeda has been working to remove the ability for women to go to school and get an education? I just thought I'd say it. Man, America, we sure fucked that one up, didn't we? I think I like Chinese rap more than I like Chinese Mumford & Sons folk music. I think if I had to pick and there was a gun put to my head by the CCP, I would say, yes, make more Chinese rap. I can never set foot in this country. You know, guys, I really wanted to go to Hong Kong. In fact, if there was a diesel that was more successful, I would have gone to cover the Hong Kong protest. Granted, I probably would have. I feel like I have painted a huge target on my back. So good thing I did it, I guess. But yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame. It's a bad. We live in like a dark timeline. You ever notice that?
14all of China 14 super cool out of China 14 all of China 14 super cool like do do do. 嫦娥 brought back samples from the moon. Great innovations are coming soon. The moon, a lonely palace no more.
All these songs are singing about the exact same thing. I just noticed that. They're all like talking about how China landed on the moon and like how all these amazing innovations are coming to the country and all these amazing things are gonna happen very soon. I will say though that this one's I like this one. This one has like a nice vibe to it, you know? Out of all the government propaganda, I would play this one on my radio. Who plays things on the radio anymore?
Democracy, why you always hiding somewhere so hard to see? So many counterfeits, copying, so I guess you must be some kind of luxury. Once I heard you be found in the Middle East, people were throwing bombs across the city streets. If that's what you want, sorry I can't agree. Get us foreign arms out of town, then we can talk about it. Now you'll be fun in Hong Kong, let's start a thing. Who'll fund you, who are you, who's hiding behind the scenes?
Now, I don't want to make any statements about Hong Kong. I haven't made any statements in this video where my opinion has lied. But hey man, if you want to talk about that, I don't. God, I can't believe this is real. What the hell am I watching? What the fuck? Oh God. Oh, this stuff actually does make me sad. You know, man, here's what I gotta say. You know, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. I tend to not like people who lick boots, right? But it doesn't help that there is just so many crazy fucks that are. I don't got anything to say. This is not only is it above my pay grade, but this stuff is bananas. You know, as I'm watching all of these videos and seeing all the dislikes on these raps, YouTube. This is the exact reason the dislike button should exist. People should be able to openly dissent things that are, in my opinion, objectively bad. It's almost like these YouTube channels and pages have been placing in false comments and hiring people. Or, you know, there's people that are just nationalists in their country posting positive thing, right? Which is, you know, false. So we can't trust the comments to be reasonable with the average viewer. You know, these people come into comments and they write lies, right? So they can control the narrative in the conversation, in the comment section. And then, you know, they can just remove any negative comments that might be saying like, oh, the Chinese government doesn't do this to the Uyghurs. Oh, here's an example of that, right? And then they can just remove that from the comments section, you know, and then with no dislikes, all of a sudden these videos look a lot more popular than they actually are. They look a lot more positive than they actually are. And you know, it might lead the dumber among us to think that these are actually popular videos or well-received ones, and they might go, well, if everybody else is liking it, I should too. And then all of a sudden you got a huge group of people that all support this. So good job, YouTube, on removing the dislike. I'm sure that this isn't a bad decision, especially considering when you have this stuff on the platform. My God. Anyway, if you'd like to watch more of me, I have a second channel where I produce stream highlights. And yes, I said stream highlights, so that's because I stream on Twitch weekly. Schedule's a bit wonky right now, so make sure to follow me on Twitch and have those notifications on to see what I'm streaming. And by the way, make sure to subscribe here for the next hot take in FPS Diesel land. Goodbye.
Super Idol 的笑容都没你的甜，8月正午的阳光都没你耀眼，热爱105度的你，滴滴青春的蒸热血。